Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be looking at a legendary farming method that I use to get all the legendary weapons I want, and this method is very similar to the loot locking method that many of you probably know already, but there is one slight difference that definitely enhances the method overall. So right now we are currently at Hubris Comics, and I farm here a lot to get the low level weapons, some of which can be a lot of the melee weapons, 10mm pistols, sniper rifles, institute weapons, things like that. The enemies in here are less than level 15, so that does affect the loot pool a little bit. You're going to get weapons you would find when you were level 15 and below that. And if you didn't know that, some enemies have a loot pool type thing where they only drop certain weapons. So if you go in here, you're never going to find a Gauss rifle because you would never kill a bloatfly when you were level 5 and have a Gauss rifle straight off the start of the game. So they kind of did that so high level enemies drop really good weapons like Fat Mans and, missile launchers and things like that, whereas low-level enemies drop things like pistols and sniper rifles. So like I said before, this method is basically the loot locking type method, so what you want to do is make a hard save outside the building, and so if you go inside and don't get what you want, you can reload this save and have a full chance of getting whatever you want over again. So once you hard save on the outside of the building, you want to go ahead and enter the building. And once I fully enter the building, it's going to autosave. And make sure you have that setting on. You want to autosave when you enter buildings. And so you'll see in the upper left it's autosaving. And that autosave is really what you want, because if you find the weapon you do want in this building, you can reload that autosave and it will have a different perk on it. So you can see right off the bat I get a legendary. And we'll see what he has. Rad powered leather chestplate. Alright, so I've actually never seen that perk before. But anyway, so once you have the legendary you want, let's just say this is the one we want, you actually have to pick it up, and then what you do is you go to load, and you want to load that autosave that was inside the building. And what this will do is it will actually keep the item the same, but change the perk. So let's see if it works. Alright, so this is the very next time entering the building. We killed the ghoul right there last time. Same legendary ghoul. We'll see if it's the same leather chest plate with a different perk on it. Yeah, so right now it's a Martyr's leather chest plate, or a chest piece. And if we want to roll the perk again, all we have to do is load the autosave. But let's say we didn't want a leather chest piece. Then what you do is you load the hard save on the outside of the building. So we'll see if it has a different item now. Alright, so we've just loaded from the hard save like I said before, and now we'll see if we get a different weapon or piece of armor. Excuse me. So it looks like we got a Sentinel's metal left leg, which is definitely different than the leather chest piece. So I would say that works. But let's just see if it re-rolls the perk now by loading the latest autosave here. Alright, here we are again. And there we go. We got a chameleon metal left leg. So same piece of armor, but different perk on it. And so that's pretty much how you do the legendary farm. The only difference is you have to actually pick up the item and inspect it before you can reload any saves. That is the autosave if you want to roll the perk, or the hard save outside the building if you want to roll the entire item. Alright guys, so that was the legendary farming method that I use to get all the specific legendary weapons that I want, and the only difference between the way I do it and just the regular way is you actually have to pick up the legendary item and inspect it before you can reload any saves. And what that does is it actually, I guess it further ensures that it keeps that weapon the same if you're reloading the autosave, and it doesn't roll it, because I've had it where I just have the weapon or item that I want and I reload the autosave, and then it ends up being a different item completely. Those type of inconsistencies can be avoided if you pick up and inspect the weapon before you load the autosave. And also, I just want to go over a few locations that I use to legendary farm items. So the first one is Hubris Comics. Like I said, this one is about levels, I think levels just 1 through 15, and you can get all the low-level type weapons like double-barrel shotguns, pistols, sniper rifles, institute weapons, all kinds of low-level melee weapons from Hubris Comics here. And there tends to be about 2 to 3 legendary ghouls inside when you're on hard or very hard mode. Another one that I go to is the National Guard Training Yard. Once again, if you go into the first building, there is usually 1 or 2 legendary ghouls in there, and I like ghouls because they're usually just a one-shot kill. It's pretty easy to go in and out and farm the weapon you want, and I believe enemies go up to level 22 here, and might be as low as level 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. So you get a little bit more variety here, and it's just as fast as Hubris Comics. Also, we have Gunner's Plaza. I believe enemies inside here can be all the way up to whatever level you are. I think there's some legendaries that actually scale to your level, so depending on that, you're going to have really high level enemies if you're high level, but I think enemies typically range from levels 20 to 50 inside here, so you can get your Gauss rifle, your Fat Man, missile launcher, basically whatever you really want to get that's a high level weapon, you can find it at Gunner's Plaza. And one more thing about Gunner's Plaza, the legendary enemy is usually on the balcony of the second floor in the very back of the building, and you can actually skip to that enemy if you go around the back of the building, or I think if you have a jetpack on your power armor, you can fly to the roof and then use the roof access, and you can make this a really fast farm and get some really high level weapons very, very quickly. And the last location I end up using when legendary farming is Revere Beach Station, and I was actually talking to a guy that made a video that really helped me out, and I was looking for a laser musket, an instigating laser musket to be exact, and he said he found a ton of laser muskets at Revere Beach Station, and so I went there and farmed. It's all rad roaches, so definitely one-shot kill. There's, I think, about 8 of them inside, and you can actually find up to 3 legendary rad roaches. Very small area right outside, or right after you enter the building, and it's a really good way to find the super low level weapons like laser muskets that you would find at level 2, or the one that's given to you basically. So Revere Beach Station is definitely the fastest legendary farm I know about. I guess I would check it out and see what weapons drop for yourself, and then it might be worth sticking around and doing some farming. But this is definitely the fastest location you can do some farming at. And yeah, so those are just a few of the locations I also use to farm legendaries, get any specific type of weapon with a specific perk, and those tend to be the fastest locations to do it at. So hopefully this video helped you out and gave you a bit more knowledge on legendary farming and some faster ways to do it. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you support it by leaving a like and sharing. It is greatly appreciated by myself, and of course it helps the video's performance a lot. If you want to see more Fallout 4 content, make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing tons and tons more Fallout 4 content and also be covering the DLCs. So feel free to subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. That is so weird. He had a minigun, and it showed a minigun. That is so weird.